I'll explain it. What's good, y'all? It's NOAHSRANT-Critiques here. We're critiquing Conscious X video on Young Dolph is Alive, okay? And I'm changing up how I'm doing the critiques. I'm still gonna the editing's still gonna be similar and everything, but you'll see it when we get into it. But I'm gonna be watching it right now, and I'll give the critiques as I'm watching it so that you'll have a fresher critique. You know what I mean? It'll be a lot easier for me to give out all the information and lay out how he's explaining it, and I'll edit it so that the pacing is well, obviously. But yeah, so you'll see what I mean. But well, you let me know if it's better. It's gonna be easier for me to make the video like this. So you let me know if it's better like this, or if you like it the other way, I'll leave it the other way. So the first character he brings up is a guy named Main Music, and this dude looks exactly like Young Dolph. Like, I'm gonna put up a side-by-side of both of them. They look exactly alike. He says that they are the same person and that he researched it. And honestly, from my perspective, I can see it. Now, I'm not gonna agree. I doubt I'm gonna end up agreeing with everything he says in this video, because what do we look like all agreeing with everything that we say? You know what I mean? Like, what would we look like if all of us agreed? Me, Exposed MCs, Conscious X, if all of us agreed, what would it look like? That would be a clown show out here, right? So obviously, I'm probably not gonna end up, unless he ends up having a flawless video, you know what I mean? But I've seen some of the video, and I know I don't agree with some things in it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so he brings up a couple good points here. He brings up one point that the noses are not something that you should really fixate on because they're easy to fake. And so Main Music's nose is slightly different than Young Dolph's in some pictures, but they're also the same in other pictures because the noses are just easy to fake. He also shows like evidence for this later, but then he shows a picture of Main Music with NBA Youngboy and Young Dolph with NBA Youngboy, and it's just like they're associated together. So it's like they kind of put it in our face. You know what I mean? Like G Money was beefing with NBA Youngboy, and they show Main Music with NBA Youngboy and Young Dolph with G Money. So it's just like, you know what I mean? They kind of put the association right there in our face. So he shows Main Music and Young Dolph's like smile, and they have the exact same smile, like off the bat. They have literally the exact same smile. It's undeniable. It's instantly noticeable. I hope that wasn't messing up. Nah, I doubt it was. But yeah, they have the exact same smile, and it's instantly noticeable. As soon as you see Main Music and Young Dolph, you're like, okay, that's the same person, right? And he introduces a base character, Soulja Slim, and this is the one where I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep going through it and see how I feel, and you'll get a more better look at how I'm feeling. So he brings up a point that Young Dolph had beef with Soulja Boy, and it just has the connection Soulja Slim, and Young Dolph had a beef with Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? So he's kind of saying that they're putting it in our face. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So, I mean, that's kind of a weak, strong point in my opinion. And y'all probably never heard that because that's like a double entendre. Well, no, it's not a double entendre. That's the wrong thing for what that is. It's not a double entendre. It's like a word that, I forget what that word is called, but it's a word that's like the opposite. It's a weak, strong point because literally, I'm going to explain it. Because the association is that the beef with Soulja Boy and Soulja Slim. Yeah, we get it. So there's that. But then that's the strong point about it. But the weak part is that rappers always beef, and that we know all beefs are staged anyways. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a weak, strong point, you know what I mean? Rappers always beef, we know beefs are staged. Soulja Slim. So, I mean, the association is there, but we also know rappers always beef, and beef is staged. But at the same time, this is Young Dolph that we're talking about, and Young Dolph has had the most crazy type situation ever, like, in the entire year, pretty much, with his death. So, I can't really say that anything is out of the question for this, so I'm just gonna keep going and not really say that. So he brings up the point that all the characters, so there's a couple characters involved in this whole thing. If you check out my first critique, like, you understand that there was Hitman Holla and Jimmy Wapo, okay? And basically, Jimmy Wapo and Hitman Holla is alive still, but he predicted Young Dolph's death, okay? And Jimmy Wapo already died, and Conscious X says that he faked his death, right? And he's basically saying all the people involved in this story are dead too, including Jimmy Wapo. But the only person that's alive in this entire story is Main Music and Hitman Holla, and Main Music is locked up. So we know rappers never actually get locked up. So he's bringing up the point that Soulja Slim is dead. Like, basically all the other characters are dead besides Main Music and Hitman Holla. Hitman Holla is free, and Main Music is locked up, and we know rappers never get locked up. So he's basically saying that nobody's on the world stage besides Hitman Holla and Main Music. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, you can't debunk what he's saying. That's what he's trying to say. But yeah, keep going. I will say that this is pretty interesting just because this whole Young Dolph thing is so crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's so undeniable. Like, there's some things where it's like, nah, this is not, you can't even deny that this is some weird stuff going on. That whole paper route Illuminati stuff is just, what, like, come on, it's literally in plain sight. How are you going to deny that? There's certain things that we have to just be logical about, right? Like, we can't be fools, right? Right? So it's just like, this is just interesting to me just because of that, I'm gonna be honest. But I'll let y'all won't get my rating until a little bit later. Another thing he brings up is they all have the exact same eyes, and they do. I'm looking at it right now. They all have the exact same eyes. It's very weird, and we all know the eyes never lie. Like, this is one thing that you can't fake. Like, the noses, everything else can be prosthetic, but eyes you can't fake. Like, when you're the same person, you're gonna have the same eye every time. No mask is gonna change your eye. No, you're always gonna have the same eye if you're the same person, and that's just like one of those things that we always go by as a like a thing that just stood. You know what I mean? It's always stood strong. But yeah. Okay, so right now he's showing the I just got a call Young Dolph couldn't pull through tweet by Hitman Holla. Y'all know I talked about that in my last critique, where like Hitman Holla literally predicts Young Dolph's death. I'll put it up here if you haven't seen it. But yeah, he literally predicts it. It's blatant. It's like, it's insane, and it's just, I mean, it's just one of those things. Just literally exactly like how Juice WRLD said that he's gonna get famous and then fake his death. It's like, why are you saying that? But it's like, I guess you're just trying to tell us what's gonna happen. Weird world we live in. Oh yeah, he brings up that they literally always have to put it in our face. This is why he did it, because it's a part of the universal laws, and that's a fact. Like, the universal law stuff is true. Like, if you don't believe in universal laws, you are either uninformed or misled, because universal laws are facts. Like, this is a fact. Like, they literally have to do it because they are following universal laws to basically keep the power that they've gained. Like, it's deep. It's deep. I can't even get into it in this video. It's too deep. He's showing the gematria. He says shot equals 17. I'll show it up there. I'll show it on the screen. But he's showing the gematria and how, like, it's all added up. And basically this is all staged, you know what I mean? And it's facts. It's facts. This is a strong point right here. The gematria point is always strong. If it adds up, it's just one of those things that is always really strong, especially in a Young Dolph situation where we know there's something going on. He brings up that Main Music's birthday is a 17 date, basically, and that there's a bunch of 17s involved, and there are. Young Dolph died on a 17 date. There's tons of 17s involved in this thing. It's all by the numbers. You know what I mean? 17 probably equals something in gematria. Actually, it does. He literally showed it. Makita and Shot both equaled like 17, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, he also faked his death on Lord Infamous's birthday, which is a 17 date. It's the exact same date as that Young Dolph died. You know what I mean? It's weird. And he's the leader of, or he's involved with 3-6 Mafia. He points out Young Dolph was 36 when he died, and like, he's showing the gematria and all this stuff. You know, this is all stuff that we all know. Like, it's all good. Like, basically, this is good. This is good stuff. You know what I mean? This is good. Y'all gotta check out this original vid, because I'm not gonna be able to show everything he's talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just, he's showing a lot. There's a lot of moving parts in this vid, but I will critique as I go on. He brings up a really good point right here. He brings up the point that crime, like, basically, it's all words are wordplay. Like, everything is a play on words. It's called crime scene. You know what I mean? And scene is an act. It's not real. It's a play. You know what I mean? It's a crime scene. This is why it's like a scene in a movie. You know what I mean? This is why words all mean certain things and are all like that for a reason. It's not called crime scene just because. It doesn't have to be called crime scene. It could just be called, it could be called something different, bro. There could be another word that's basically similar to scene, and it's not. It doesn't have to be called that, but it's called crime scene because everything has to add up in a certain way in gematria and everything. Literally, the whole world is based off of this whole script. Like, actually, it's entirely insane, but it is what it is. We're living in it. Accept it, and accept that we live in the now. Don't dwell on past things. This is the reality. Okay, so this is a really big point. He shows a tweet where Young Dolph, I'm gonna put it up on the screen too. He shows a tweet where Young Dolph literally says that he was not independent. Like, he literally admits that he was signed to a record label. Like, that's something that I might have to post as a whole entire separate clip. Like, you know what I mean? Just critiquing that entirely. Just as, because that's insane. Like, dude, you literally just admitted you're not. People might have already posted it, but regardless, he admits that he's not independent, which is entirely insane. Like, dog. I mean, it's believable, but I mean, I'm now I'm gonna think every rapper was not independent. Like, now I'm gonna think, oh, okay, Hobson was never independent. You know what I mean? You know, anyone, we could go on. A list could go on. Chance the Rapper, we could go on. You know what I mean? None of these rappers are independent. Like, now I'm just going to believe no rapper's independent. No rapper's independent now. Unless I know you or I've seen you, or, like you're in a, like, situation where I know you're independent, okay, yeah. Or you've never done anything selloutish over the years, or never done any weird stuff over the years, okay, I could go for it. But if you've ever done any suspicious stuff or ever hinted at anything, and you're huge, I'm not believing you're independent. That's just not the case. It's just not the case. It's been proven to me many, many, and many times. So I'd be a fool to believe it. I just won't. You know? And he shows this tweet where Young Dolph says that he's Juice WRLD's cousin. Juice WRLD is another death faker. Juice WRLD admits that he faked his own death in that tweet. We've all talked about this. We all should know about this by now. You can look it up yourself. I might put it up on screen while I'm talking. But he literally says that in this tweet, he basically foreshadows his own death because he's like, oh, I should be up and he's like, God, save a spot for me. That's what he's saying to Juice WRLD, like, literally. So it's like he's basically foreshadowing his own, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. It's in plain sight. So he shows two instances of predictive programming right here, which are pretty dope. And the one that I already seen one of them. I posted one of them on my channel. I actually took down the video, but I posted it before on this channel. And it's literally where, like, Young Dolph is saying, if I sacrifice myself. And then, but the crazy thing, though, we all know that. We know that clip, right? But the crazy thing about that clip is, I'm going to put it on screen, too. Conscious X actually paused the clip because there's weird flashes going on the screen during the clip. You'll see all of this. And during one of the flashes, like, if you pause it during the flash, it'll show you a scene in hell with demons in hell, and it's crazy because it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, it's weird stuff going on, bro. It's just mad weird. And then there's like another thing with him and Key Glock where it's like Dumb and Dumber, and I'll put this on screen too, and he spells it wrong because if you spell dumber wrong, and you scramble the letters, it basically is murder. And scrambling letters is this weird type of thing. I forget what it's called, but there's this thing. There's a word for when you can, like, basically switch a letter, any letter. You can switch a word, the letters in the word, and it'll be another word, basically. So if you switch around the letters in the word listen enough, you can get the word silent out of the word listen if you switch it up. Same thing as with dumber. If you switch up the words in dumber and you spelled it wrong, you can get murder. So, and it's just two instances of predictive programming. I think this is really dope for me. Okay, yeah, he brings up two more good points, and then we're going to give our critique. So the last 2 points that he brings up is basically that even if you know his family or anything like that, and because Young Dolph obviously made like interactions in Memphis, same thing with Pooch Ice-T and all of them, like, just because you know them, that doesn't mean that they're real, you know what I mean? Like, and just because you know their family and all that, like, the whole family is involved. The kids are fake. It's all staged. You understand? That's what his point is. And he also shows this picture of Young Dolph with basically a hat covering his ear. I'll show the picture. And basically he's saying that this is proof that his ear is fake. And he gives his whole explanation for why he thinks the ear is fake, and it's a pretty good explanation. You can argue it either way. I'll say that. But I'd say that it's good proof, in my opinion, that because all the other stuff that he says backs up this. So if you put it alongside the whole video, it's good. Alone on its own, it's weak proof. It's weak. But with the whole thing that's been going on at Young Dolph, it's strong. So, as far as my critique, I'll give this video, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 just because of the whole Young Dolph situation. And really, it's not even him. It's not even like, I'm going to give Contrasex his credit. It is him, too. But also, it's Young Dolph, too. A lot of it is, like, how crazy the situation is. Like, if the situation isn't this crazy, then you just don't have as much crazy stuff. You know what I mean? The situation happens to be insane with Young Dolph. We happen to have an insane situation, so the content is really good. So, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10 in content-wise. I could either give it a 9 or a 10 out of 10. But I'd say it's not, I wouldn't say it's perfect, you know what I mean? Pacing could be better. It's no insult to him, but that's just my personal opinion on how I felt about the pacing. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. But yeah, it's NOAHSRANT-Critiques here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Be easy, y'all. I love y'all.
Stress!